Hello visuals and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Superhero Wednesday, where this week we're doing yet again another comic book review. It's time for another Rick and Morty comic review. This time it's Rick and Morty presents Time Zoo, and we're going to try and do it spoiler free, because hopefully after you've watched the comic book reviews, I want you to go out and buy the comic books yourselves and read it and be like, oh, that was great. Yeah, Superhero Wednesday, another comic book review. I just realised I've got a split in my bag. I don't know how that occurred. I don't know if that was there in the poster. Do you know what it is? It's probably the dog, because when I get my comic books, depends how many I get. Sometimes they come through the door and I'll come down, or I'll come home from work or whatever, the dog's sat there and the envelope's just got teeth marks, and you're like, okay, I know what's happened here. Should give you a better look at the cover without the bag on, because it shouldn't reflect then. There we go, Time Zoo. There's all kinds of shenanigans going. If you can make out that there is multiple TVs and they are like Rick, Rick Sanchez and whatnot, you can just about get that little whirly-durlies. What have I had whirly-durlies from? I can't remember. We have another epic classic Rick and Morty adventure, and this comic in particular, when I finished reading it, I was thinking, this would be fantastic. A lot of them would be anyway, if we got an actual full episode out of this. But this, out of all the ones I've read, I would love to see this turned into an episode, because it's just one of them extremely wacky and goofy and silly and just over-the-top Rick and Morty adventures. This, the basic premise of this story is there's a weird sort of like time loop kind of thing going down, which we've kind of had, we haven't majorly had in the newest season of Rick and Morty, I think it was, with the, the time train and all that kind of shit. We're in another sort of weird little time loop where we get these people that are like time tourists kind of thing, but they're wearing the, I'll try and show you one. They're like, like the safari get-up people would wear with the little brown hats and whatnot. We get to, there's one of them. They're going around, and it all starts off with Rick and Morty says, oh, the Spheres, Ball Fondlers 9, Spheres of Fury is coming out, and it's a reboot, and then it comes back, and Rick realizes there's some sort of weird time loop that's being controlled. You can kind of see the guy controlling it in the little chair there, and there's a huge key component in this story, and it's cheese in a fucking can, and you've got to spray it, and that becomes a little bit of the plot in the story, which is just, again, another typical weird, bizarre thing to talk about or to have to interact with in the world of Rick and Morty. Talk about weird stuff like the power of nostalgia and whatnot. There's even a moment where one of the ways, this is a little bit of a spoiler, to defeat the bad guy in this is by looking at this crazy, weird, mechanical cat, and Rick's like, if everybody's ready to run, just, we better run now, and they just fucking dart off. And they're showing moments where they're going through space in Rick's spaceship car thing, and they're just going so fast, and they go through time, there's little clocks not going around everywhere, and it's again, I keep saying it, but it's a really fun adventure with some weird elements. I love the science and logic that goes behind Rick and Morty stories. Again, I'm too fucking, a lot of it goes over my head, but a lot of it's just, you think it's some really creative, intelligent writing with some real science hidden behind it. Again, like I always say with the Rick and Morty comics, it's filled with art that are just beautiful for comic books. If we go to look at some of the upcoming issues we got coming out, like Rick and Morty Annihilation Tour. That cover looks great. What's that one there? Rick and Morty Go to Hell and Ever After. Fucking cover looks fun. This cover looks fantastic. I'd love just a wolf. That's the, I don't think, yeah, we do have that one, Rick and Morty issue 1. We've got these ones are just sort of individual stories, but we do have that and issue 2 as well in the comic book box. We haven't reviewed that one though. But the whole gang, the whole family, Summer and Jerry and everybody's there, as you can see on this same adventure. And again, there's a moment I said to you about the stringed cheese. There's more of the weird, wacky shenanigans going on, because it's all time-related, carry-on, kick-offs, Time Zoo, big, cheesy-looking weird. Do they mention? I can't remember if they mention his name. Can't remember. Where's Summer and her fucking nut cheese string? There she is, getting saddled up and ready, and she's fucking squirting the cheese. And it's just fucking so funny and so dumb, but yet so creative and so smart. I don't know if you can be so dumb and so smart at the same time, but Rick and Morty never fails me. I have no idea what they're going to do with the future of Rick and Morty as well, because obviously we know this, the accusations behind a very key and important figure in the Rick and Morty world. And I hope to God it all fucking goes smoothly, and I would love to all that be denied and proven wrong, but I don't know. Why are we talking about that for? This is a comic book review. If you never fail to laugh at a Rick and Morty episode or anything, the comic books just serve as a great layer to just get yourself involved in the world of Rick and Morty even more, into an extra depth. Even, I know it's not Rick and Morty, but oh fucking hell, what was the game called now? I've just friggin' done it a million times over Christmas and shit. Humanity, not Humanity. Yeah, you know the game I'm about anyway. Even though it wasn't Rick and Morty, it was very Rick and Morty inspired and very Rick and Morty heavy. Just to add all these extra elements and levels to the world of Rick and Morty, it's so much fun, because this is a world that I would just love to be in constantly, continuously, because of how just dopey and crazy and mental. And Rick is played so well. The way, like, there's a shenanigans that happens at the start of the book where they're talking about blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Rick ends up setting fire to the table, and he's like, whatever, I've set sprinklers to the house, and they all just completely flood. And it's all a debate over using towels, and he's like, yeah, you know, which towels we can't use, they're the fluffy ones and all this kind of crack. And then we see Rick later on using the soft hand towel things. And it's just little stupid stuff like that just sends me over the edge, because it's friggin' beautiful. But there we are, visuals, Rick and Morty, Time Zoo. I've tried my hardest not to spoil that. I think I've given you the story enough there. I don't know, I'm so bad at these comic book reviews, but yeah, I keep doing them. Rick and Morty presents Time Zoo. They do a lot of presents. Like I said, there is a continuation of a comics and that one coming out, like, you know, the actual series. But these are just so much fun to collect. And like I said, eventually I will have them all stuck up somewhere. Rick and Morty times. I'm sorry, I'm so biased. I'm Mr. Optimistic, I'm Mr. Hopeful, I'm Mr. Everything I love's great and fantastic. It's 10 out of 10. It was fun. It ticked all the Rick and Morty boxes. It was a great classic, typical, but again in its own very unique way, a unique Rick and Morty story and adventure. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely amazing. Art style, great, fantastic. And again, I know what it says, right? I know what it says. But there's something about the Rick and Morty, the paper they use for their books is just, it makes you want to hold it. I don't know if you've noticed for this video, I've probably been sat just sort of like holding it and flicking it and moving it about a bit. It just feels nice. I don't know what it says about me and my dumbness. There we are, visuals, and thank you so much for watching. Rick and Morty presents Time Zoo, 10 out of 10. Amazing. Go check it out yourselves. Thank you so much for watching, visuals. You guys are literally the best. We'll always keep being you and keep on web slinging out.